Hi, and welcome to part 3 of this time-lapse version of drawing Keeva the German Shepherd. So where you join us, we've done the majority of the face and we're just working on the right-hand side there by the nose. So I've gone in with the Unison Soft Pastels mostly for the base layers. I like to use the Natural Earth range for these sorts of tones. And then I've picked up a variety of pastel pencils just to start to get in the detail on top. So I work in my base layers and then I gradually up my details as I get to those highlights at the top. The things that the viewer is going to see most are what I'm working up towards. And in the same way, I like to work on things, from the background of the image to the front of the image, so that the thing that the viewer is seeing at the front of the image is the thing that you are drawing last. So it's the most prominent thing that pops off the page. So here I'm just getting in that sort of lovely neck fur. There were really important highlights on this because the light is shining so much on her that there is that really sort of white prominent highlight. And I remember this bit took me much longer than I thought it was going to, because there were so many different colors to incorporate in there to not only capture her fur tone, but also capture that beautiful light that is shining on her. So that bit took quite a bit longer than I was expecting, but it was really worth it because it looks really, really lovely. And I'm just starting on the mouth. And now mouths they're really interesting because they look really, really scary. But if you break it down into just the shapes that you're seeing, you're seeing these different colors in these different shapes, then you will gradually be able to work out what is going on and how exactly to draw that part of the face. And it's not as scary as you think it's going to be originally. And it will just start to come together if you just focus on one little bit at a time and you try and figure out what is going on in that specific shape. And then you join them all together. You'll stand back from it and go, wow, I've got a mouth. It's quite incredible, actually, how it all just suddenly comes together. And then her teeth, they're not really brown, sort of yellow teeth like you quite often see. So I used a slightly different palette to what I normally use. I used some greens and some blues and some greys. I didn't go so much in with the browns and the yellows as I normally would. And then the tongue, that's another really interesting part. A lot of people, if you're not trained in art or whatever, you look at a tongue and you see red and you see pink and you assume they are the colors that go into it. But quite predominantly for my tongues, I tend to use a purple sort of tone. And here I've used purple, I've used pink, I've used black, I used brown, I think, and I've also used some grays and some whites. And it's the same sort of principle. I put in the base layers and then I gradually work up through those layers to eventually get to that really detailed level at the top. So if you'd like to draw along in real time on Patreon, this full tutorial is about 3 hours long and I talk through everything I'm doing as I do it. That includes what pencil I'm using, what soft pastel I'm using, the way in which I'm holding the pencil, and just exactly what I'm doing really, so that you can draw along. And the reference photo and material lists are all available on Patreon as well. So I really hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's been helpful to watch and you may have learnt something. If you have, then please do subscribe and come back. I will be releasing part 4 next week, and I'll hopefully see you on here or on Patreon soon. Take care, guys. Thanks. Bye.